What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Chris Wilder fan channel, also known as the Blades Ramble. We are live. We are clashing with Nick, which I'm not comfortable with, but I have to get through this quite quickly, so I apologise. Make sure, if you're still watching Nick and come to me later, that's absolutely fine. If not, please go watch the rest of his. We've just overlapped very slightly, which we don't like to do. But anyway, I can't hold this in any longer. How good is it? We're back. We're back. We're proudly sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield here on the Ramble. Thank you to them for all their support. It's very much appreciated. But Chris Wilder, what a man. What a man. And before we get into it too much, no more of this. We're not anti-Hecky. We're pro Wilder. That's how we are right here. That's all we've wanted. As soon as I got wind that there was a slight sniff of a chance that he was being considered for a return, that were it. It was tunnel vision. I just knew when it was confirmed that, or when we sort of started hearing things that he'd love to return and he's got a point to prove and things like that. He's desperate to come back and try and help us out. It was night and day. We were not getting this under Eki, and this is not an Eki bashing, because Eki did a great job to get us promoted. He did the job that he was asked to do, and then he's had a difficult summer because there wasn't the money there. But you can tell there's more to come from these players. We've been saying it. We've all been saying it, not just me. There's a lot of people who've been saying there's a lot more to come from this team. The first 11, and this isn't our full first 11, bear in mind. We've got players like Reece Norrington-Davies to come back into the side. Ollie McBurney will certainly challenge for a spot. I know Wilder's a big fan of his, although it's getting more and more difficult to get into this side. Players like Jack Robinson, who have completely outperformed themselves, and that's a good thing. That's praise where praise is due. This side is good enough to compete at this level. The squad isn't good enough. I'll give you that. I will give you the fact that the squad needs strengthening. But these players, you look at somebody like Gus Hamer, who was my man of the match today. I thought it was absolutely outstanding. Playing him in a position that he's used to, the position that he got Player of the Year for Coventry, that he was one of the most sought-after central midfielders in the country. It's an absolute no-brainer, isn't it? An absolute no-brainer to play him where he's the strongest. And look how well he plays. You can tell everything about the performance. You can tell that it's belief. Who were it that we're running with ball today? So McAtee, this is not a shot at somebody in the... Well, I won't even name him, but we got a comment in Ramblers group saying McAtee's off it today. You know who you are. And I value your opinion, but and to be fair, that were a fair shout. He takes that ball and he curls it on the stroke of half time into the far corner. A thing of absolute beauty. One of those absolutely brilliant goals where the keeper just goes, oh, there's no better, is there? Curled back in, way right behind where he was as well. We could see trajectory of it. And it goes in. And after that, McAtee he never shies away from it anyway, but my brother's sat with me and he's saying, look how confident he is look how good he is on the ball. And I'm saying it's confidence. It's because he believes in himself, particularly after that goal. You could see it lift him. Everything about him. I thought Cameron Archer, although I would like to see him further up. I liked that he switched Cameron Archer to the point of the attack when he brought Slimani on. Slimani, by the way, I know it were a Hecky signing and I'll give you credit for that, but why hasn't he been playing? Where has he been? He came on, I thought he looked great. Andre Brooks is making him look a mug. Norwood, Fleck, you've got to think, is it... And I don't mean to do down any of our players, really, but there is a natural cycle, isn't there? And these players that we're in today are going to be... a lot of them are going to be the future of our club. Austin Trusty, playing at left-back, an unfamiliar role for him. And obviously we switched to the 3-5-2 when Max Lowe came on later and Brooks had started to tire. Max Lowe still doesn't fill me with loads of confidence. There's a couple of them that, when he brought on Flecky on Wednesday night, I'm thinking, oh no. But for me, that highlights the fact that we haven't got the strength in depth at the minute. So I'm hoping that he's going to be given some sort of license to improve us in January. And I think he will, to be honest. But that's not what it's about today anyway, is it? It's just, we never looked like losing that game. Under Eki, if we'd have been 1-0 up, we would have been shutting up shop and inviting them onto us because we're scared to lose. We're frightened of, clinging on to this, and ultimately we're not good enough to just sit back and defend. We can't. Wilder were having us go forward, even in last minute. We're absolutely, it's everything we've been crying out for. And to see that our manager, who is one of us, don't forget, whether you agree with how he left the club, what he's done since he's left the club, whatever it might be, you can't tell me. He were crying at full time. He were crying. There were tears in his eyes, and that's not put on. He's a bloke's bloke, isn't he? He's not somebody that just panders. He never will be, I don't think. I get that he's sort of been quite humble since he's come back, but he's one of us. He feels it. He knows what it means. And to get his first win in his second game in charge against all the odds, we never looked like getting beat today. We never looked like getting beat, and we deserved all 3 points. Even when they're piling pressure on, I never once thought, well, obviously you always think at back of your mind, we could lose this, or we're being a little bit, but I thought we were so solid through the whole game. I thought what an unbelievable performance. It's just like we're back into it. I keep saying that, and I got some right hammer on social media for saying we've got our club back when Chris Wilder returned. And this isn't I was right. It's just this is what I felt would happen. I thought it'd bring us all together again. And I think we're almost there. We're almost there. Those people that were saying it's ridiculous and, shouldn't be sacking Eki, Wilder's never going to change us, all this sort of thing. Again, it's not you're wrong. It needs to continue. Otherwise, it's just a flash in the pan, isn't it? And I think that'll be the message from Wilder. But I'm just absolutely elated with how it's gone. I can't. It couldn't have gone any better, could it? And I'm speaking from a person who's got absolutely everything they wanted. It don't, and that could blow up in my face. It's easy when you stick your neck out and you say Cameron Archer's going to be a great player for us. And, if he don't score or he don't do the business, then it's out there, isn't it? I did say, and somebody called me on it today, that James, I didn't think, before Wilder came in, I'm on record as saying, and I think, I'm not afraid to sort of go over it again. I think James McAtee's a luxury player for us and that we struggle to get him in the side. Well, we've now got him in the side and it's a position where he's looking very dangerous. So I've been proven wrong in that. And I can hold my hands up and say, absolutely. I'm delighted to be wrong as well, because we know none of us ever questioned the ability of James McAtee. It was just the grit and determination. If we were going to be backs against the wall all the time, but that wasn't a backs against the wall performance. That was digging in for absolutely every 50-50. But we controlled a lot of that game, I thought. I didn't think it were a case of being under the cosh and, you need to be in the trenches with us. I thought he did that, but in a different way. So absolutely over the moon. There's still a couple of little bits that I'd tweak, but who am I to question the Messiah who has just gone and got us our first win in God knows how long, in way too long, since Wolves, obviously. But I mean, the fact that Burnley had to hang on and almost lost again at Brighton, but got a point today. I know Bournemouth have gone to Man U and won. So results haven't really gone our way. Having said that, it's just about us at the moment. I know other teams, I think it's daft when people say, don't matter what other teams do, it's all about us. Of course it matters what other teams do, but the main focus is always on us, because it's about how we feel as a club and the momentum that we've got now on the roll that we're on. We roll into Chelsea confident that we can potentially get something from Chelsea. At Chelsea, which is ridiculous to sort of say out loud, but they're not on a good run of form at all. They're very, very patchy at the moment, and they looked appalling against Man United, who've just lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. So it's one of the toughest leagues in the world. You could tell. I've seen people saying that Brentford were really poor. I didn't think they turned up today, but that they're a solid Premier League side now. They're established, and these are the sort of games we need to be winning. And I'm absolutely delighted that we have. And I think we've got 8 points now we're sat on. I think if you include Everton, which we haven't been doing, and understandably so, but with 2 points from safety, Luton have played a game less. I think Everton may have done. I haven't got the table with me, but I think the teams we need to be looking at now are like your Forest and your Crystal Palace, and they're a significant buffer away from us. They're either 6, 7, 8 points away from us, but it becomes realistic. When you get a win and you get that ball, and look, we might go to Chelsea, we might get turned over next week. All bookies will have it that way anyway. But while he's just given us a glimmer, a glimmer. And like Andy the Blade always says to me, you know, it's the hope that kills you, Jimmy boy. And it is. And we might get slapped back down to earth on Saturday, but I've then every confidence that we bounce back. And I know it's the following game will be against Villa, which is going to be really tough. But absolutely brilliant. I know everybody were joking with me last time that I said it's not going to be a long one, this. And then I went on for about 50 minutes. This will not be a long one. I have got the house to myself tonight. I'm going to be going out and getting a takeaway. I'm going to be watching football, and I won't be keeping you long. But we've got to dip into some of your comments. Dublin Blade starts us off with 8 more wins. Can it be done? Look at Bournemouth now. I think, of course, I think it can be done. Of course, I think it can. We've got to play every team again, haven't we? So I think we can do it. I don't even think we'll need 8 more wins, to be honest, pal. Slimani looked class when he came on. Robbo and Anel both looked very solid. Maka with a bit of magic. Midfield controlled the game. The front line put in a shift. Proper Sheffield United performance. Absolutely right. And JC says, first time this season, a clean sheet. Absolutely right. Worth getting wet through in front of the John Street to see that performance. Well happy. Absolutely. Me too, pal. Nice 3 points today. Up the Blades. Evening, Eamon, pal. Smudge says, another immense performance from all. The Messiah knows what this means to our club. We have a fighting chance. Yeah, we do. We do. And the atmosphere is back at the lane. Come on, then, Blades. What a difference a week makes, says Davy Boy. Looking much harder to beat and creating chances. Worth dragging myself out of the house to watch and then make process immediately turn out to be wrong. Macca, you've outed yourself, Dave. Sorry, pal. I wouldn't have done that to you. I would not have done that to you, but Dave Leary was the terrible shout that said Macca wasn't doing great. Wilder ball, it's like he's never left, says John. Absolutely, pal. Brilliant. Loved today, says Paul. Bit scrappy in the first half of both sides, but second half was a proper Wilder performance. Fought for everything and defended when we needed to defend. We're on way back. Obviously, we've got a longish drive in traffic back to Wakefield. And so we've got Football 11 on. I don't know if any of you heard it, but it's Praise the Grumble on Football 11. And they're interviewing Wilder, and he badges in and he's like, it's a praise, Bob. It's a praise for Sheffield United. I haven't been to the game today, but it's a praise. It's just, he's us, isn't he? He gets us completely. Absolutely gets us. Bri, hello again, pal. Oh, nice. Nice picture there in your elf outfit. Fully deserved. What was going on at the end of the ref playing 1.5 extra minutes? I don't know. What was that all about with the ball behind the goal? Wilder was doing his nut, looking solid. Brooksy, class act. Absolutely right. What was that all about with the football behind the goal and having to knock it off the pitch completely? It was just ridiculous. Louise says, well played today. Played like a team. Wilder is the man. Proved it in 2 games. Such an improvement. Absolutely right. Evening, Dean. Darren even. Sorry, I've got a Dean Kirkham as well that jumps in. I think one of you is nice to me and the other one isn't. So on the up. Can't believe the improvement in such a short period. Up the Blades. Kyle asks, is the Great Escape on? Oh, if there's anybody that can do it, it's him. I'm telling you. In less than a week, he's given us our club back, the first clean sheet of the season and another performance with 100% effort. That's all we're asking it, John. We're not going to beat everybody. All we want is the effort levels. Love Wilder. Could be out of the bottom 3 after next Saturday. Oh, Aaron, don't, mate. It's the hope that kills you. Thought Bogle, Hamer, Archer and Vinny Souza were fantastic again today. I would say they were top 4 for me. Yeah, really, really good. Hamer, my man at match, but could give it to anybody, really. Those boys in particular really beginning to show their class with Wilder in charge. This team has me believing again. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. Wish for a Blades win on my birthday. Happy belated birthday, Gabe, pal. 2nd ever Rambler, Gabe. Spot on. Thank you for your continued support. We did exactly what I wished for. Well, I'm glad that they gave you that over in Canada. Much appreciated, pal. Justin buzzing with them 3 points. Thought we were better against Liverpool, but tough conditions in the points that are all that matters. Hopefully Wilder gets the best out of Archer and we have a chance. Absolutely, mate. Up the Blades, says Paul. Evening, Jimmy. What a difference a week makes. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Absolutely, pal. Alan says it's not the same team. It ain't, mate. It's night and day, isn't it? Night and day. Evening, Jimmy. You were right about Archer. I've been critical of him, but thought it was excellent today. Up the Blades. I think he will definitely. He'll be some player for us. And that's why that makes it even more desperate to stay up, obviously, than the other reasons. But the fact that we would keep Archer and he's somebody that I think will eventually thrive at this level. Unbelievable. Evening, Jimmy. Great 3 points. Absolutely right, Ricky. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Chrissy. There's more singing it now. There's more singing it than there were at Liverpool. And there'll be even more against Luton, I would have thought. Finally, we got our spirit back and gave youth a chance. Yeah, that's been a refreshing change from what. Now, to be fair to Eke, and I have sort of stuck the knife in a little bit because I think with Eke, it became a bit of a thing where he gave people the debuts. I think he sometimes just towards the end sort of did it to tick a box just to say I've blooded the most youngsters for Sheffield United, and that's my cynical view, and I understand that. But Eke was good at bringing the youth play. Listen, I always thought he was an elite academy manager. I thought he managed our team our kids so well under Wilder, and I think that's ultimately where his calling is. Eke, in charge of a youth setup to bring through like incredible youth players, did so well with Illiman as well. Chris Wilder has never really been known. And this is, maybe unfair criticism because I don't know what he will like at his previous clubs, but I've never known Chris Wilder rely on youth, particularly at the highest level. This is the pinnacle of English football. And he's started last 2 games with Andre Brooks, a youth prospect. He started last 2 games with Will Asula. I know options are threadbare, but he could have gone with a safer option like a Norwood in midfield, like we've been doing. And then he brings on Sidney Peck instead of somebody like Traore or somebody else who he could have brought on for McAtee. And maybe a more of a solid holding midfield. But he wanted another goal, which is so refreshing. But yeah, for Wilder to be focusing on youth, it's a welcome bonus. Brooks was bloody superb. Everyone was so good. Absolutely right. Evening, Jimmy. We're on the up, clean sheet as well. More to come, says Ricky. Half a squad missing. And Paul rightly points out Robbo's now suspended for Chelsea, 5th yellow card today. That is much more of a loss than I ever thought I would admit to. But what you have got, and listen, I'm still not a huge Max Lowe fan. I can't shake it. I want to be very positive about everybody. But it'll mean, likely, that if we stick with the back 4, Trusty will go inside with an L and probably Max Lowe on it. Let's be right, coming in. Brooks was insane, says Scott. I thought he had a better game on Wednesday. I don't think he was bad at all, to be honest, today. I thought he was good again. But I thought he was better. He stood out better against Liverpool. Left work early to watch with my little one. First season he's got into football and it's been terrible. But today I've seen the light in his eyes. The look that made me fall in love with United. That is brilliant. Hands up who still wants Eke. Don't do that, Man Mountain. We are alive and kicking. Only one Chrissy Wilder, all blades, aren't we? Brooks is the real deal. End of story. Top man. Tony Royal, what a game. 3 massive points. I actually have a smile on my face on a Saturday night. What a day to be a blade. Absolutely right. Evening, Jimmy. It's chalk and cheese, fire in the players' bellies. Back to keep up the points. Slowly mount up. Oh, absolutely. Up the Ramble, up the blades. What Man City name your price? Oh, I don't know about that. Can't wait to watch match of the day. There's no doubt about it. Sometimes a manager just fits a club. Absolutely right, Paul. He would. Let's be honest. Chris Wilder would not get a Premier League job at any other club at the moment because of his previous 2 jobs. He might struggle to get one in the Championship at a decent club, but for us, there's just a bit of an X factor in there. And I just knew. A lot of us did as well. I'm not claiming credit for it, but I'm just over the moon that he's back. Absolutely over the moon. Happy chappy. Thank you, pal. You're making me a very happy chappy. One step closer to the YouTube studio over there in the darkness. Step up in organisation is clear. Now that Hudson is gone, it seems like the defenders know how to do the basics again. Absolutely right. Thank you, pal. Really appreciate that generosity. So happy. We should have also had at least a point against Liverpool. Don't know. I think Liverpool were the better team, to be honest, but our performance was very impressive. Match of the day tonight, I'll certainly be watching. I admit I was sceptical, but what a difference since Wilder came back. Need to spend in January, pick a few points up in the meantime, and who knows, we can do this. Up the blades. I think there are a few that was not just yourself, John, and it's not a case of who we're right and who we're wrong. He's back, and he's making the difference that we all need. It's just unreal, innit? Absolutely unreal. Superb today. Hail the Messiah. Hail to the Messiah. Wilder has brought the oomph back. Absolutely right. We need to buy that beautiful young man, McAtee, our defenders. Also look like defenders now. Clean sheet for Wes. What a day, honestly. I still have a little bit of a worry about Wes, if I'm honest. Look, I think it's fair to say we're riding a high at the minute, and I don't want to sort of pull it down at all. But it's fair to say that the squad still needs strengthening. And then I'll give us every chance. We have a cleansers, which is great to see. I can see more. We have a clean sheet. Can see more coming. Absolutely right. Let's hope so. What a win today, McAtee. Fantastic goal. Wilder getting. Eki even thought he did a great job with us. Harsh, but I know what you're saying. We need the change now. Burnley look to have changed their game plan and went 1-0 up, then sat deep. Yeah. Well, we've changed, haven't we, already, to be fair. Really hope Ryan One gets his chance. Unproven and hungry. He were on bench today, weren't he, One? And now that McBurney's going to be back, I don't know whether he'll be as high up the pecking order, but Sousa was outstanding. Absolutely right. Makes the change to be happy for a change. I believe Wilder will keep us up the Blades. Oh, unbelievable. Very happy Blade tonight. Nice 3 points. There's only one Chrissy Wilder. Why isn't Slimani starting? It's a great question. It's a great question, and we don't know the answer to it, do we? We don't know. He's so good for our team. Well, I liked the fact that when Slimani came on, Archer went to the point of the attack. The only thing with that is you'd have to play Slimani instead of Asula, wouldn't you, if you're going to keep that same formation, which I think there's an argument for, but it's a shame for Asula. 2 bookings in injury time. Added a minute at least. Maybe, yeah. Proper Blades game, that. Loved it. How good to see Slimani getting a run. Thought Anel was immense today. Brilliant. What a result, Jimmy. Just a pity the teams around us picked up points too, but it keeps them within reach. Good performance all round. To say half the first team is out. They got to work hard to get the shirt back. That's right. I mean, you all know what I think of George Baldock. But how do we drop Jayden Bogle? You can't drop Bogle. You cannot drop Bogle on those 2 performances. He's been absolutely outstanding. So as much as I love George, I'm not sure I'd put him straight back in. And that's how it should be. Whoever's playing really well keeps the shirt. If Asula had a blinder today, and I don't think he did, I think he did okay, but I think he's tired. If he'd have had a blinder today and he bags and he scores, I don't think McBurney should be coming straight back in. He might do now, just because of the way things have gone. But you've got to be able to keep your shirt if you're playing well. Proper Blades performance. Long may it continue, says Darren. Absolutely right, pal. Great performance. Enjoy your takeaway. Match of the day. Brooks is the new star boy. He's class, isn't he? Class. What would be more of an achievement? The 1920 season or keeping us up this season? I think keeping us up, to be honest. I still think it's so far. I'm not saying it'll feel the same because that 1920 season were everything, weren't it? But I think it's so many people wrote us off. And the levels are so much tougher. Let's be right. It's such a difficult level. I think the achievement will be much greater to keep us in the league this time. But we have to get close to get there, don't we? Thought Slimani looked good when coming on. Is he our new impact sub now, Jimmy? Nah, to be fair, he looked, maybe till he gets fit, so he's in real contention because he looked to be blowing at Endon, and he were only on for 20 minutes, I think. Okay, Jimmy, you win. Nice one, Wayne. I love it when we can hold our hands up and say that. Any lingering doubts about him returning have now gone. Proper Blades performance. Good man. Cheers, pal. He's had 3 training sessions. What an improvement. Class, passion, commitment, effort and drive. I'll repeat, we didn't pull the trigger earlier. We are Blades. We had a good session in the cricketers. Oh, I'm good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, I still think it should have happened a lot earlier. And, it's easy to say that now, isn't it? But obviously we have been saying it for a long time that it should have. Newcastle was the time to change it. Can you imagine Wilder being in charge against Bournemouth and Burnley? I think we'd be looking at a different table, to be honest. I'm not saying we're beating both because Bournemouth have obviously turned a corner, but before they get all that momentum together, then we'd have had every chance. First time this year we've beaten a team on expected goals. Well, that's good to know. Proper Blades performance today, says Jackson. Absolutely loved it. We've got our club back. We certainly have. People keep trying to pull me down for saying that, but that's how I feel. Great to see Slimani getting a run out, and thought Inel was immense up the blades. How come more time he added on after the 4-minute board went up? I know. It's just, we're getting used to it, aren't we? Working today, so only seen the highlights. Great result. How was that not a sending off? I know. I hadn't seen it back, to be fair. Feel like a new person now, says Mr. V. The clouds have parted, the sky is blue, and the sun is shining once again. No more depressing games, just hard-fought graft and a system that the players are buying into. Who'd have thought it? Round pegs in round holes. It works, doesn't it? It's like night and day difference, refreshing. What an attitude change. He's everything in Wilder in terms of bringing that mentality back to us. That's my weekend made. Get in, blades. Rate beer time. Up the blades. Yeah, I'm going to be joining you in a minute. Not literally, but I'm winding down. The Wilder train is moving, Jimmy. Performance today was superb, but should have been more, especially as it should have been down to 10. I think we can get a point next week. I think we can. Who needs Berger? Berger who? Souza showing class in the last few games. At least Souza can head a ball and actually turn up for most of the match. I thought Souza were great today. I thought that was his best performance in the United shirt. I know he played well on Wednesday. I thought he grew into the game on Wednesday, but I thought today he was everywhere. Did really, really well. Thought Sidney Peck, talking about Berger, when he's chasing ball down, he had a real look of Sander about him. I wouldn't mind if he, because let's be right, Sander was inconsistent, but he was a very talented player, and he is a very talented player. So if Sidney Peck can get anywhere near, absolutely brilliant. Slimani played very well, and Brooks turned into a very good player. Up the blades, up the effing Ramble. Yes, Chris, top man. Up the mighty blades. Brooks outstanding again. Steve, guess who's just got back today? Guess who just got back today? I got it. Them Wilder boys had been away. Haven't had much to say. But man, I still think them cats are crazy. Is that how the lyrics actually go? But I don't know. I'll take your word for it, but I'm assuming it's the boys back in town. Ryan Oney on the bench. Did you give Wilder a... No, mate. I wish I could. If I had Wilder's contact details, you'd have seen him on the Ramble before now. But I'm confident he watches. Evening, Messiah. Good evening, sir. We'll see you on here soon enough. I'm going to have a word in the right ears, I think, if we can. I just hope if we do go down, we'll keep Brooks, as he's churning out really good performances. Bigger teams might swoop in for him and turn his head. We just need to tie him down for 5 years with a big release clause. 2 good games. It's amazing, isn't it, what can happen? But, yeah, we do. We need to sort some contracts out soon. We've been linked to a goalkeeper, absolutely right, and not before time. Give us a break. He had the most saves in the Prem because he'd faced the most shots in the Prem. But listen, I don't want to slate anybody. I thought he played well again today. There were a couple of little hairy moments again, but listen, we're playing at the highest level, and there's a lot of pressure. It should be calling for Bogle when Bogle's clearing the header and it drops to a Brentford foot. So little bits, but I'm being picky because ultimately everybody's played well today. Again, second game in a row. McBurney or Asula up at next game. I won't be upset if Asula starts and McBurney comes on, but I think it'll probably be the other way around. I might be wrong, but I think it'll be the other way around because he's not coming back from injuries. He's coming back from suspension this time. Hyder, top man. Thank you, pal. Very much appreciate the generous donation. Walking in a Wilder wonderland. Absolutely right. And that is obviously the last home game before Christmas. So, feeling very festive. Home alone tonight. Your missus would have been worrying that what you were going to buy if we'd lost. Mate, I know. She had to try and rein me in. Last time Lowe played for us at Chelsea, we got beat 4-1. I know. I worry about Max Lowe, I'll be honest. Asula's class just needs a bit more strength. For a big lad, he gets pushed way too easy. I know, and a little bit more awareness, I think, as to where his man is, so he can muscle him off a bit more, touch sharper. But he's got all the tools. It's just putting them all together into it. Free Slimani, what a player. Vinny was unbelievable. Shame Jackie Long throws out for the Chelsea game. Yeah, it is. Need to get Brooks on a 5-year deal so we don't have another Illiman. Yeah, he's got to be a priority, hasn't he? Correct. We should have exchanged. Yeah, we should have swapped it after Newcastle. Totally. It's easy to say now, though, isn't it, Andrew? I mean, I know we were saying it beforehand, but it doesn't change out now, does it? To say that it's just. I do genuinely think we'd be in a better position if we'd have made the change earlier. If only Eki had been sacked after the Newcastle game. Been and gone now, hasn't it? We're just happy Wilder's here. The challenge on Vinny was outrageous. Everyone, including Mike Dean, was saying a red card. I'm not surprised. It looked bad, and Vinny Well, I think, to be honest, Vinny, for me, has been a bit of a big Jesse. I'm just calling it as I see it. I think he's been going down easy. I think he's been, prior to Wilder coming in, he's gone down like a sack of spuds quite often. I don't think Wilder will stand for it. We know under Wilder, he doesn't like any play acting. He wants us to be up on our feet and not messing around. Just get on with it is pretty much the message. So when he stayed down, I was genuinely concerned that he'd hurt himself. So you're right. I hadn't seen it, but I thought it must be I saw it obviously in real time, but I thought it must have been a bad one just because of the way he stayed down. This is what it's all about, says Daz. Absolutely right, up the blades. Having seen the match today, it confirms to me that Eki had lost the dressing room. I still think we'll survive and now die on that hill, up the blades. I hope you're right, Liam, pal. I hope you are right. And Hamer actually playing in centre midfield. The reason we actually bought him, unbelievable. Who'd have thought it, eh? Who would have thought it? There's talk about Chuba Akpom coming in January. What would you feel about Akpom and Archer up front? I suggested this, and somebody rightly corrected me because I'd not paid attention over the last few weeks about Chuba, but Ajax weren't doing very well, and he wasn't really getting in. But then I think he got in. Did he score an hat-trick or he scored 4 in a game or something? Very doubtful they'll let him out. I think they've improved in terms of their form. We definitely need squad depth, and we've seen that Chuba and Archer work together very well due to their time at Borough. A lot of people saying that Wilder bombed Chuba out. He did initially, and then he brought him in when he had no options, and I think that's fair to say. And he started scoring goals. And Carrick got the most out of Chuba. I'm not going to try and put that mantle on Wilder, although I would if I'd given half a chance. But Wilder did bring Chuba into his team. So I don't think that would be a problem because Wilder's here. So if Chuba Akpom's available, I would be going for him. I don't think he will be, to be honest. But I wouldn't say no to him at all. I'd put Anel in centre and Baldock right, centre-back next game with Robbo out. With Robbo being out, Trusty has made that left centre-back his own last few games. Do you... Oh, yes, so you're on about going back to a 3 at the back? Yeah, maybe, because Lowe's a bit further forward then, a little bit less dangerous. I'm getting to see why you love Archer. He's getting better every game and not getting knocked off the ball as easy. He's got a great low centre of gravity and he, like you say, he don't get knocked off easily. I just think he's much more valuable higher up the pitch and not out to the left-hand side. But as I say, he's played well last couple of games, even if he hasn't been the goal threat that I prefer him to be. I don't think Bogle gets dropped. I'd stick with the same team again. We're going to have to make a change for Robbo out with us. It's just how you move the pieces around. I agree, though. I won't drop Bogle. No low, rather have Wilder playing. Maybe he brings Baldock in. I don't know. On the left-hand side, we've seen Bogle play a left-back before. I don't like that. It's a little bit of a square peg in a round hole, but it depends how much confidence you've got. He seems to have confidence in Max Lowe, although I thought he looked a little bit shaky when he came on today. Or maybe he's just wanting to have a serious look at these players before January and see whether they've got a future. I'd rather have Wilder playing. Give it back, McBurney, more physical. Yeah, probably. On what planet is that not sending off, says Pete? It was way above the ankle and a stamp. Wow. It's nice to see the team playing with smiles on their faces. I wonder who Wilder sent to the shop to get the beers in tonight. Absolutely. Well, that were after Eddie Feet, famously, weren't it? I think at Millwall. And that were to try and up the morale levels, but they deserve it tonight. They deserve to be celebrating, don't they? Ricky says, I watched it back. For me, it's a red card. I'll watch it in a minute because I'm coming off now. Not sure McBurney gets back in for me off the bench, though. Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. We'll do a watch your team later in the week. As soon as we went to a back 5, I thought we looked weaker again. Didn't have the threat on the press. Yeah, maybe. First half was good, says Andy, but a few tweaks in at half-time. We reduced Brentford to desperate defending in the second half. Brilliant. I don't think I've ever witnessed an improvement like it since 1986. You know, well, that's very specific, mate. Very specific. I think with Robert out, Trusty moves to the centre and Thomas comes in. Oh, I don't think Thomas comes in. I'm not saying he shouldn't, but I don't think Wilder fancies him. He's been bringing on Max Lowe instead when he's needed somebody down that left-hand side. I think he prefers Lowe to Thomas. Guided 2 yellow card tackles in a minute and then died 5 minutes before half-time. They subbed him at half. Is that who came off? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. And Chris finishes off with Up the Blades. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I am absolutely buzzing, like the rest of you, to be honest. It just feels like we're back, doesn't it? It feels like the Sheffield United of old are back. And even if we do end up going down, we are now swinging again. This is all we ask, effort levels. And if we go down, who better to bring us back up than the man himself? And there's a long way to go. So we're not even going to entertain that. We're taking it game by game. We enjoy tonight first and foremost, and then we move on to Chelsea. So enjoy tonight, Blades. It's been a long time coming. It feels so much better than the Wolves or the Brighton for me, because we outplayed a team today. We massively outplayed them, and we deserve all the credit that's coming our way as a team and a fan base, because we stuck with them till the end. And I love it. I absolutely love everything about it. If you are not supporting the channel through being a subscriber, please do. It means an awful lot to us. If you want to go that extra mile and become a Rambler, all the details will be in the description. We have got some very exciting news coming up that the Ramblers are already aware of, and you can get involved yourself if you want to go a little bit further on that. But it will be coming to the channel anyway, so just subscribing is a huge, huge help for the channel. Thank you so much for watching with us. Come on, you red and white wizards. Yes! Up the blade!
Gustavo Roma into the top corner.